So hello, welcome. I'm Atul Gawande, a staff writer for The New Yorker, and I'm totally psyched to be here with The National. On behalf of the magazine, I welcome you all to the 2011 New Yorker Festival. A couple points of technicalities. Please turn off and silence your phones. No flash photography or photography, period. And for those of you using Twitter, I'm asked that you please use the hashtag TNYFest. We're going to have 90 minutes of conversation and music together. We'd like to get as much music as possible. So we're going to talk for about half an hour. We're going to take some questions. I'm going to call it at 7:40 for these guys to get a little chance to get together and have the set ready to go, and then we'll have some music. It's a great chance to get to talk to you. I'm just giddy about the chance to ask you some questions. You guys have been a mainstay on my playlist in the operating room. I'm a surgeon as well as a writer for The New Yorker, and I'm also from Ohio. A little bit about, and these guys are from Ohio. And after just over a decade together, this has been just an incredible peak year to me, having watched as someone who, in 2007, got to see you guys at the Middle East nightclub in Boston with about 150 people there. We saw you just 2 weeks ago in Boston, and you played to 5,000 people. 2 days later, you played the Hollywood Bowl, and it's 20,000. You played the Latitude Festival. You had 50,000 people. Your album this year, High Violet, went to number 3 on the Billboard charts. And what I want to start out with is just understanding your path from Cincinnati, where you all grew up, to forming a band in Brooklyn. And so I'm going to start with Aaron and Bryce and Brian, who I understand you all were together as teenagers at Cincinnati Country Day, and you started a band.
That's right.
Did you have any thought at that time that you wanted to do this for a living, or that you would or could do this for a living?
I think we had the ambition to.
You had that ambition?
But not the talent. We definitely were serious. I mean, we took ourselves very seriously.
You won like Battle of the Band stuff, right? And like talent contests, didn't you?
We did. No, we would always lose because there'd be one band with a singer who sounded like Eddie Vedder, and they would win. We didn't have a singer. We were instrumental.
What was the name of your band?
Equinox.
Equinox. Well, and then for Scott and Matt, you all were at the University of Cincinnati Design School and started a band named after your mother?
Yeah, it was called Nancy. It was named after my mom. I got into the band. Scott and a couple other guys that we were in school with were musicians, but we were such close friends, they let me just sing on some of the songs, and somehow I ended up naming it after my mom. I don't know how you let me do that right away. But,
you're a natural leader, I guess.
Yeah, that's very, very forceful even then. But yeah, that was the first time I'd done anything at all remotely musical. And it's questionable whether that actually was what I was contributing was musical at all. But yeah, so that was all in Cincinnati, and both of those. All of our bands sort of dissolved when we ended up going off. And
yeah, it was years after that before you really came together as The National.
Yeah.
Aaron and Bryce, you'd gone to Columbia and Yale. You all ended up in New York. Why? How did it go from you guys heading off to college, thinking you might want to do music in different ways, but really pursuing other careers, to ending up getting together in 1999 to form the band?
Well, you went to school here. You were in school in New Haven, right? Cleveland. Then you ended up in New Haven, where Bryce was, right? And then you guys moved down. Scott and I worked here, moved here for design jobs right out of college. So, I guess around 98, 99, we all ended up in New York. And Scott and I lived in a unfinished warehouse, sort of loft place with rats and stuff. But so the only thing it was good for was using it for painting and art and stuff like that. And we we started noodling around with the 4-track or 8-track, and then you called your brother, and you called these guys, and within a couple of weeks, we kind of were starting to, get together on weekends and just for fun, and that lasted for over a year and a half before I think we...
Of just sort of messing around.
Yeah, just totally messing around. So it was happenstance that, the fact that we're all from Cincinnati and that it all kind of came together much later in Brooklyn and stuff. So.
And were every one of you thinking you would like to be serious about music and entering a band, even though you're in these other kind of responsible jobs?
I think I was the anomaly in that I didn't have a job, so I was. Matt had a great job, which is why he paid for all the.
Being a gigolo, that's a job. That can be difficult.
Thanks, buddy. No, I had actually gone to music school and was studying classical music and was teaching guitar, traveling around and teaching private students and also at little music schools. So I think I really aspired to, find something, to be in a band and to pursue music in different ways. And the others had at the time really good opportunities in their jobs, but it was something that we all shared as our primary kind of passion. So
the thing that strikes me about this is heading towards the year 2000. You're getting towards your late 20s. The bulk of humanity at that point are leaving their bands to take responsible jobs in this booming economy. And you're saying, we're going to leave our responsible jobs and form a band. And it was an uphill slog. It was rough for those few years. You put out 3 albums in the course of 5 years and with increasing critical response. But how did it feel for those 4 or 5 years where you're sitting out where friends are probably cashing in on this economy that's going kind of up, and you're sticking to this other line of work?
We didn't give up our jobs, though, for several years after.
05, I think.
When was it?
Fall of 05 was the kind of...
That's when we started. I mean, when we first, in 2000, when we made our first record, it came out right around the same time the Strokes' first record came out, right? So, we didn't feel like we were in that universe at all. No band, very few bands are, but so we had a very, very humble start. We would be playing, open mic nights and stuff at this place called the Living Room. We were just wherever, we were just trying to get any little gig we could, and we would still, go to our day jobs for several years, and it slowly started to change, and I think we got that first record we got one good review, out of Buffalo, New York, in a zine, and it was
a really good review.
It was a really good review.
It could keep you going for a year.
Definitely. It didn't take much to make us believe. One guy kind of. I mean, honestly, I would say that one review, I think we all remember. It was a significant. There was a significant mental shift when some complete stranger we had never met said so many awesome things about this record.
I think he called it a building's roman writ in smoke.
Yes.
Penned in smoke.
Penned in smoke.
We read it to each other. Anyway, yeah. So we clung to little bits of positive feedback and that kept us sort of believing, I think, even though we were, for years and years we were traveling around and sleeping on floors and playing to nobody. There was a gig we played. I don't know why we ended up playing a show in Orange County, but we played a show at a mall in Orange County where no one came, and so the bartenders said, we'll still pay you if you just don't play, and we can all go home. And that wasn't that long ago. I mean, that was in the middle of our career that was still happening.
It was kind of a long time ago.
Was it? But I mean,
his sense of time is that was a long time ago.
But anyway,
I remember 2005 for y'all because Alligator came out, and I remember when I first heard Alligator, a friend of mine who's a local bookstore owner said, "You have to listen to this CD," and he gave it to me. And I remember hearing Abel, which was just electric. And what struck me was, your music is not normal. And there were three things about it that has stuck then in the subsequent albums with Boxer and High Violet, which is that for me were, yeah, and I'm sure it's defined in different ways for different fans, but there was a mood, there was a certain voice, which Matt has, and there was your drums. The mood of the songs, to me, was this, people have called it gloomy, and that wasn't how it hit me. I thought it was really captured in that line you have from a song that you're chronicling the unmagnificent lives of adults, and has this range from the pissed to the depressed. Stemming sometimes, flirting with the absurd, maybe going over to the wistful.
Pissed in the...
It's just angry and sad. Our whole
Yeah, right.
There's a lot of territory there.
Yeah.
And is it hard to sing that music when you're in a good mood?
No, I mean it's.
Or to play it?
No, it's those kind of songs like Abel, or there's songs where I scream my head off, or even like the real sentimental slow songs that are really about today, and there's really a lot of songs that are really very, very sad, and it's a really it's a really good feeling. There's a warm. I think it's like when you're watching a Kramer versus Kramer, when you're crying during that movie. It's like it feels so cathartic to sort of like dive into that stuff. I don't cry on stage. I try not to, but no, that sort of just like digging into that sort of your this sentimental welling up, wallowing in those emotions is really, really fun. I've always found that to feel good. And
they're very adult songs, and yet you had, I noticed at the Middle East, a very teenage audience. Any idea why you're able to connect across such an age spectrum, or is it in fact a more adult audience? I don't know if you noticed Scott or Brian or others.
I've never noticed there being a young element in we've always thought ourselves as like a dad rock band.
Dad rock band.
Or dude rock, or dudes up front kind of. But I don't know. Maybe it was like 3
I saw
You've connected for our kids who obsess over your lyrics, and we'll quote them to you at any time you like.
I was going to say I saw Radiohead the other night, and I stood in the audience for 3 hours, like waiting for them to come on. It was the first time I'd been in that many people waiting for a show like that, but it was a good experience, and I was impressed that we have a lot more women in the audience than they do.
Yes. So then there is the voice, a baritone, which I took notes on what's been compared to bourbon, smoke, seismic rumblings, and syrup. But then you also have, Matt, this quiet, loud, quiet thing, which I wonder, when you go out and you yelled, "My mind is not all right," like, how do you...
should guess.
I'm going to ask you to do it for us for a second.
No, I can't do it unless it's hidden amongst all the...
Because how do you do it without shredding? Because you can go from quiet to loud and then not shred your voice.
It's like I actually never... I don't know how I can do that over and over again and not hurt the voice. It's I think it's not a throat thing. It's more like just underneath the throat, sort of like... This sounds cheesy, but I did a magazine asked me to do a conversation with Frank Black, and we were talking about that.
Amazing
he
screamer.
Screams his head off, and he said it's just like it's not like the type of scream that I think when you're constantly screaming at like a football game or whatever. It's different than that, and so. But I've never worried, and I guess I've just been lucky that nothing's ever happened. But I probably should not do that as much, but yeah, and it's the one of these like I was saying before. It's a sort of a physical, cathartic thing. It's like being on stage can be really whatever, just tense, and the anxiety builds up. And I think those songs started exploding like that because we not just me vocally, but just as a band, we started kind of these bursts because we were had to get that tension off or something like that. And it's very palpable during a show where like all these, the swelling emotional songs, and then we all, I think, just can't wait to get to those moments where that we rip loose and it kind of whatever relieves that you get wound up and it just kind of lets it all go. So yeah, but I've never thought too much about what's going to happen in another 10 years. But
you should probably consult a physician.
Yeah, I probably should. Do you do that? Do you work on that?
I try to avoid hurting the voice as possible. The other thing that strikes me about your voice is that every band has to put itself behind a voice, and because it defines every band in a certain way. And yours is a kind of counterintuitive voice. And have any of you ever had doubts early on about putting yourself over those many years behind this voice?
I think from the very beginning, when I met Matt, it was probably 2 or 3 years before we started the band, and I remember thinking like, oh, if he could sing, he'd be a good, because he's kind of magnetic personality. Just love you. But I don't think we've all, even from the very first demos, I can still listen to them. We have like demos we made on a 4-track, and I still like them.
Your first band had a female vocalist, right?
Our first band had our first band had no vocalist. We just played Grateful Dead songs for like 10 hours at a time. But no, there was chemistry from the very beginning, and I think for us, it was really we joke like the resonance in his voice. You talk about the baritone. We joke that that's like the power alley. It's like a baseball reference. But I think as we've evolved, we've tried to like just explore different ways of writing music to complement his voice or to push his voice, and different, High Violet is actually singing out and singing much higher, and we also use a lot of background vocals and just
cover it up.
But no, we've never had any. My former boss, the job that I quit in 2004, he kind of told me when I quit, he's like, I think you're making a mistake. Like, your singer just can't sing. Now he's really supportive, but
he works for us now.
He's a fair weather fan, but he's great. So
there's nothing geekier than drummer worship, but I'm guilty.
Me too.
And you have that rare thing, which is a distinctive sound, which a drummer has to work to make. And I'm curious about two things, which is, have you got drummers you admire, and are you trying to sound distinctive? Or is this simply the way that you play?
Well,
it almost is like you're writing.
Well, literally, I do write out.
This is on the
Yeah, I write out the notation, but I would think I admire Stephen Morris a great deal, the drummer from New Order and Joy Division. I actually steal a lot of his parts, like quite openly, and like adapt them to our needs. And but there's tons of great drummers out there. Justin from Broken Social Scene, Glenn Cutchy. He's a great guy to copy from and talk to about things drumming. But I think drumming just tends to attract the obsessive or the nerdy kind of element. Just because it's such not a solitary thing, but when you're learning, you're just kind of in a basement, as I was, just kind of, trying to play like John Bonham or something.
I can say that it's pretty rare to have a drummer who notates his parts.
Yeah.
Like, we'll come up with something, we'll sit down with Brian, and he'll sit behind the kit, and then he'll leave for a week, and he'll come back, and he has this like chart.
Right.
And it'll be like the most brilliant thing you've ever heard. But that's a special kind of talent. Like, I haven't seen other drummers do that. I'm sure there are, but.
Oh yeah, Matt Johnson, Andy's new drummer.
Matt Johnson from
St. Vincent's band.
Okay.
He's also other people.
he played on the
Jeff
Buckley Grace.
Well, so this alludes to some of how you write together, which is, I don't know if it's unusual or not. Aaron and Bryce, you write much of the music, or it sounds like you start out that way. I'm not sure whether it's you, Aaron, or Bryce who starts it out. And then you kind of pass it along to Scott and Brian to piece together that. And then it goes to Matt. And it sounds like you get a lot of veto power along the way here. I'm not sure. But is that how it evolves? Is it piece by piece and passing along like that? And a collective enterprise in that kind of committee-like way?
It has been that way since the beginning, where we just come up, we call them sketches, where they're songs, they have a form, and they have some melodic, implied melodies and harmony, and, we kind of imagine a song. And we've gotten better at it as the years have gone by, and we kind of vet them through everybody. I'll do a lot, and Bryce will do a lot, and we'll send them to Matt and Brian and Scott, and kind of at some point Matt usually is inspired by a few of them. So if we do 100, there's maybe 15 that he is inspired by, but usually he has strong opinions about it, and it's just a very slow, democratic process. But I think it is definitely, the chemistry in the band does come from the friction that happens through that.
Like the American democracy, it's highly partisan. Scott had mentioned that, I saw a quote somewhere where you said that you feel like each of you are trying to make a different album every time.
It's a little like the UN or something, where there's like some warring countries and then there's some peacemaking countries. And I think, Bryce and I kind of fill the peacemaking country.
He's Norway, I'm Switzerland.
Yeah, obviously. And I think it's just,
I'm Iran.
You're totally Iran.
We joke it's like playing chess, because usually the argument you're having, you're not actually, it's not what it's about. You're thinking like 3 arguments ahead. So you got to play, especially with this guy, you have to play him pretty smart, or else he'll get you. So, but I don't know. I think that is, as much as we lament it while we're making an album, the process and the difficulties and the kind of, you can't just. It doesn't. A song has never just happened. Whoa, there's a song, because no one person is writing.
It doesn't sound like any fun at all.
Yeah, it's so much fun when it's done, and you can just. And I think we all actually like the music we make.
Is it the writing that keeps you going?
Not at first, yeah.
Or is it the performing that is ultimately the joy?
The writing is
over
fun.
the years.
Well, I think most of the time we don't like anything we were working on for a long time. It takes, and I think that's why one of our, like I've said this before, but I think one of the things that makes us work really hard and it takes so long is because we have a huge fear of making fools of ourselves with just a terrible song. And I think our songs to most of us, we don't like at all. We think are either just lame or boring for so long, but somehow we got into this thing where people are expecting a record from us, so we can't not do it. And I mean we love doing it, but it just takes a long time until we start to think, oh yeah, okay, there could be a song here. This is starting to work a little bit, and so we very rarely work on a sketch and look around at each other and say oh, this is great. This is, it's at the most we're usually maybe if we in a year this might be interesting. There's
more ups and downs than that. You get your white wine going and you're singing all night and you probably feel great, and then the next morning you're like, terrible.
Yeah, but I mean, we pass stuff back and forth, and then often we think something's good, and then we give it to everyone else, and we lose faith in stuff really quickly, and so we will, making a record, we'll go through 50 or 60 things, I think, and it's just the ones that we can still stand at the end of the process that make it onto the record in a way. I mean, and then when it's finally finished and we have a moment to take a step back and listen to it and enjoy it, we've usually been happy, I think. But it's like just trying to avoid making bad songs is one of our driving sort of. Whatever.
So what's the joy of being in the band? Is it the performance? Is it being on stage and doing it, or is it clearly this doesn't sound like it?
That's good. I mean, I can't say we all. I don't think we enjoy being on stage in the level of sort of being in front of people and under the lights and stuff. I don't think any of us feel naturally very few people do probably, but I don't think we like that. We do like when we kind of sink into the songs and people, and we feel like that connection in a room. When that sort of chemistry happens in a room, we all can feel that, I think, and that's really an amazing feeling. So there's.
It's an incredibly cool job, to be honest. Like playing.
People will enjoy
guitar.
it 25 years from now.
Yeah.
That was great.
Yeah, none of us want to go back to our other jobs.
The joy is that it's better than any other job you can think of.
Right.
It's really fun, I mean, and when you feel
So ultimately, it's and you get the joy of creation in tiny snippets when it's all done.
We struggle. We say that we don't like what we do, but I think it's mainly that when we started the band, we were all very self-aware, nobody in the band is delusional, thinking that if you write we often write songs that I think other people or even our fans, they might want to hear, but we throw them away because they're pedestrian or they're cliche or they're idiomatic in some way that we're just not comfortable with. And so for us, we actually gravitate towards, we call them the ugly ducklings, like the songs you find under a rock. And those songs are kind of hard to make them happen and make them good, and especially with the slow kind of democratic friction thing that goes on. But what I think the joy that we get is when we find the left turn or the kind of the corners and the elbows of something that make it special, then you're kind of like, and it's this tremendous relief. And then you spend a few years playing those songs for people, and it's amazing when you go to Croatia and there's people singing every word to some really awkward kind of weird song, and you're like, whoa, like we haven't even sold a record here, like how do you, and that's really, and it's your friends from all this time, it's amazing. But
so now is the pressure on or is the pressure off? When you did Boxer in 2007, I've seen you write or discuss the idea that you felt like this was critical, that you could disappear if it didn't do well. It did great, and then High Violet. So is the pressure on or pressure off for the next projects, and what might those next projects be?
I don't think the pressure ever goes up. We know how quickly people lose interest in bands, and how the attention that you're getting can just dissolve overnight. And so I think we all are just are pinching ourselves but waiting for that to happen, and going to try to avoid letting that happen as much as we can. But so yeah, right now we've just begun to start to think about new songs for and I think we're all afraid to walk into it because I think it's going to be really hard to make a good record. It's always really hard to make a good record, and
there's a documentary you mentioned that'll be coming out, and or maybe.
I don't know if it's a documentary. My brother is making a movie of some kind. I don't know what genre it will fit into.
Comedy.
We don't know. I don't know.
Action. Bromance.
Backstage romance.
Backstage.
Yeah. So sometime next year, my brother is a filmmaker, and he followed us. He was on tour with us for about a year and a half. He was sort of performing a role of assistant tour manager, which I think he got fired from after a couple of weeks by our official tour manager. But and then also for making this film, so he got probably more access than I think we maybe would have given a person that we were just aware of them having a camera the whole time. So we're a little worried about what he's making. He seems to be excited about it, though. But so sometime next year, I think that'll come out. And we're gonna start working on a record as soon as we get our confidence, to do it, to dive back in, I guess.
We cannot wait.
Thank you.
I'd like to give the chance for the audience to ask some questions. There are 2 microphones up front, and we're going to have to keep it brief, so it might only be 3 or 4 questions in order to have time for the band. But if anybody would like to come on up to the microphones, why don't you go ahead and start over here on this side.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi, I'm Lena. I'm from Copenhagen in Denmark. Hi.
Hello.
I'd like to ask you, what is your fascination with 29 years? You've got one song called 29 Years, and in Slow Show you're mentioning it as well.
I don't know if I have a fascination with 29 years, but I just stole those lyrics from an older song. Actually, it was your idea.
Cardinal song?
It was
29 years.
It was a song called 29
Oh,
Years,
29
which
years.
is on our first record.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then it's in Slow Show, right? It's at the end of Slow Show. I think we just at the end of that song there was a shift that happened, and I didn't know what to do with it. And you're the one who said, "Why don't you just sing 29 Years to that?" It was that simple. So, I don't know.
You just ruined the song for...
No, but it fits. It was kind of a fun thing. The original 29 Years is basically it's the only song we have where it's me by myself, right?
It's your dream.
Yeah. It's my only solo song I've ever done, it was just me and I'm drunk on a microphone. So the second version of it I think is much better at the end of Slow Show. But yeah, it's I just ran out of stuff and I just stole old stuff. Okay. I do that
Come on over
occasionally.
Hi. Yeah, you were speaking earlier about this review in the Buffalo or Albany paper, and I was just curious, High Violet very justifiably got unbelievable acclaim. I don't know if I read a bad word about it. And, I mean, you guys spoke about, I guess, a lack of confidence in some of your work, but there's something that seems almost very un-rock and roll about all good reviews, universal acclaim.
We've gotten a lot of bad reviews.
Well, but is there a part of you that, kind of in a sadistic way maybe, strives for some divisiveness? I mean, does it suggest that maybe there's a certain challenging quality to your work? Because, I mean, what's remarkable about High Violet is that I feel like it does move the dial. It's challenging, but amazing. But is it not of interest to perhaps challenge to the point of even putting some people on? Yeah, I don't know if that comes off as an actual...
I mean,
do you know what I'm driving at?
I think for us, it's we have a really hard time even thinking, even starting to think about what, like challenging an audience, or like what an audience will expect, or what kind of reviews, what people are gonna say about our songs. That hardly ever comes into our. Not because we're above it, by no means is because we're too cool for that. We're constantly worried about what people will say, but it's never been any help for us to figure out how to make a song together. Like we fight with each other so much about our own sort of like impulses and instincts about the way a song should go, that what anyone outside the five of us will think about it almost never. There's no room for that.
I wasn't suggesting that it would work backwards from that.
Yeah.
I guess it's more if you appreciated what happened with this last album, in that you almost became a brand. I mean, it was that level of acclaim that, where
Well,
I feel like you're
let's
talking
make sure
about
other people get a
followers.
chance, but
Okay.
it's a cool idea.
I've read all those reviews, everyone, and I don't know. I think we've been lucky to. Part of that is like I think people are just paying attention to us, and I think High Violet is our best record, and so I think two things happened. A few people started paying attention to us, and it happened to be our best record so far, and so I think a lot of people just jumped on board in a way. I mean,
There are some bad reviews we can send you, actually.
Hi, I'm George from Brooklyn.
Hello.
And,
Hey,
George.
I wanted to know where you get your inspiration from.
I think, like we're all, as far as like the inspiration, as far as like the lyrics and that kind of stuff, I'm usually taking stuff from personal experience, but not on an autobiographical way. It's just, they're not like.
You weren't really carried in the arms of cheerleaders?
I was not. I was never.
Damn.
I would just sit in the stands behind the cheerleaders hiding, but no. They're just sort of the things that the themes and ideas in the songs are just things I do care about that are just in your life, just trying to figure out how to be a good person, a good adult, and a good husband, and a good father, and a good friend, and then you make sort of abstract stories about that stuff that you lay awake thinking about and stress out about.
I think about a song like Fake Empire, which came at a time we're wide awake or half awake in a fake empire, which felt like it captured the sense that the world was turning, that everything was economically going fantastic and then turning around. And yet, you never, were you commenting? Were you trying to say
that was definitely
a political tale?
It was that song's the motivation for that, and that was sort of to create a fantasy, escapist sort of fantasy. That song has like going off and going off into the woods, or and taking alcohol with you, and there's bluebirds on your shoulders, and it's sort of a wanting to just go off into a cartoonish fantasy world, because the real situation that was Bush years and all that kind of stuff, just like it was almost walking away from like thinking about politics, thinking about Bush and the country and all that kind of stuff, and just wanting to pretend it didn't exist. And so it's been interpreted and it's that I guess is political, but it was never intended to be sort of a statement about anything. Only just like I just don't want to think about it anymore. I guess avoiding talking about politics has been our way of maybe somehow talking about it, or like, I don't know. But
I'm afraid this will be our last question.
Hi guys, I'm Brian from the Upper West Side. When I listen to your music, my friends and I, we talk about your music. Like there's certain albums you put in and you can't help but get emotionally invested. Like definitely Alligator for me, or a lot of the Arcade Fire albums. When you put it in, like you just want to sit down and listen to the whole thing. So my question for you is, you talked about when you sing, when you write, it's cathartic. But do you also write thinking about like what is the audience, their emotional response is going to be? And I guess similarly to that point, Dr. Gawande, when you're in the operating room, do you ever get so emotionally like invested where you're like, okay,
I've got to stop this song.
Right. Like, no, or it's like the chorus for Abel's about to kick in. Everyone, I just want to sit back and listen.
An operating day is 14 hours, the team getting together, and it's much more about setting a mood that can keep everybody sort of in the right pace as we go along. Am I playing the most like Abel? Am I having people screaming in the middle of when I'm about to the nerve is gone now? So it's trying to
find
a
scalpel over your head.
You're right. Trying to find the right mood in the right way. But I think it's a similar question. That what strikes me is the mood and the way you're capturing texture and things like that. And it's laid down all the way through from the musical choices that you're making and adding in. And are you aiming for that as you build along? And are you on the same page as you are trying to create that mood? Or does the mood come out of that conflict and it ends up being something you had nothing to do with?
I think what you said about emotion is something we all collectively do agree on, which is, Aaron and I talk about it like the heartstrings. Like you, and Matt's voice especially, like 80% of the time, it really hits, where we do like to make songs that, no matter how interesting the music is, if the song isn't good or if it doesn't speak to you, it doesn't mean anything. We've thrown out really amazing music that had kind of a mediocre song. But I would say that emotional quality in our music is what we're striving for sure. And the mood serves that. Sometimes you want to set a different kind of mood for a different kind of emotion. But
I think we from sort of the beginning, like I said, we started right at the same time that the Strokes started, and we never felt like we were going to ever be a band like that. Not that the Strokes songs aren't emotional and moving in any way they are, but I think we in a way sort of embraced the idea of songs can be sentimental and they can almost be like sappy is something that we were never afraid to walk up against and potentially even overstep it into something that's melodramatic. I think we some of my favorite songs are melodramatic, just overly sentimental things, but I buy it. It's like if you can't do that kind of stuff in a song, sometimes I think in real life we don't. allow ourselves to be that sort of like raw and whatever and vulnerable. But you know, I think we from the beginning never had any problem, or were never embarrassed by emotionally sort of, you know, tear jerkers and that kind of stuff. And yeah.
Well, we cannot wait for your sappy, melodramatic, over-emotional songs here. And to add to it, I
We are
understand...
playing a few of those.
I know, we got like 5 in a
We
row.
gotta
I
change
just
the
looked
set
at the
list
set
now.
list.
And to add to it, you all have brought a string section, no less.
Yes.
So we need a few minutes to set up here.
Get your Kleenex.
But thank you to the National for joining us today. We'll take a few-minute break. We'll be right back.
All right. Thanks a lot, man.
saving anything. Now we're swallowing the shine of the sun. There's no saving anything. How we swallow the sun. But I won't be no runaway, 'cause I won't run. No, I won't be no runaway. But what makes you think I'm enjoying being led to the flood? We got another thing coming undone, and it's taking us over. We don't bleed, but we don't fight. Go ahead, throw your arms in the air tonight. We don't bleed, but we don't fight. Go ahead, lose our shirts in the fire tonight. But what makes you think I'm enjoying being led to the flood? We got another thing coming undone. But I won't be no runaway, 'cause I won't run. No, I won't be no runaway, 'cause I won't run. No, I won't be no runaway. What makes you think I'm enjoying being led to the flood? We got another thing coming undone, and it's taking us over. We don't bleed when we don't fight. Go ahead, throw your arms in the air tonight. We don't bleed when we don't fight. Go ahead, lose our shirts in the fire tonight. But what makes you think I'm enjoying being led to the flood? We got another thing coming undone. We got another thing coming undone, and it's taking forever. I'll go brave in everything, with you swallowing the shine of the sun. I'll go brave in everything, through the shine of the sun. But I won't be no runaway, 'cause I won't run. No, I won't be no runaway, 'cause I won't run. No, I won't be no runaway. What makes you think I'm enjoying being led to the flood? We got another thing coming undone, and it's taking us over. We don't bleed when we don't fight. Go ahead, lose our shirts in the fire tonight. We don't bleed when we don't fight. Go ahead, lose our shirts in the fire tonight. But what makes you think I'm enjoying being led to the flood? We got another thing coming undone. We got another thing coming undone, and it's taking us over. And it's taking forever. Thank you. This song we wrote for a video game. So
It's a really cool video game.
Donkey Kong 7. It takes your mind again. Exile. It takes your mind again. You got suckers, love. Have you given up? Does it feel like a trial? Does it trouble your mind the way you trouble mine? Exile. It takes your mind again. Oh, you've missed so much. Have you given up? Does it feel like a trial? Does it trouble your mind the way you trouble mine? Does it feel like a trial? Now you're thinking too fast. You're like marbles on glass, vilified. Don't even try. Vilified. Don't even try. You got some good luck. Have you given up? Does it feel like a trial? Does it trouble your mind the way you trouble mine? Does it feel like a trial? Did you fall for the same empty answers again? Vilified. Don't even try. Vilified. Don't even try. Vilified. Vilified. Thank you. This song is called "Think You Can Wait," which we wrote for. We're playing a bunch of songs that like aren't on the records, the most recent records, just for a few here. This one was written for the movie Win Win that was came out earlier this year. So. drifting, crying. I was looking for an island. I was slipping under. I'll pull the devil down with me one way or another. I'm out of my mind. Think you can wait? I'm way off the line. Think you can wait? We've been running a sleepless run. Been away from the baby way too long. We've been holding a good night gun. We've been losing our exits one by one. I'm out of my mind. Think you can wait? I'm way off the line. Think you can wait it out? Think you can wait it out? Think you can wait? What I'm thinking is simple. I'll sell apples and ice water at the temple. I won't make trouble. I'll pull the devil down with me one way or another. I'm out of my mind. Think you can wait? I'm way off the line. Think you can wait it out? Think you can wait it out? Think you can wait it out? Did I forget a whole part of that song? Okay, here we go. Oh, good job. I'm supposed to pick up from here? I'm lost. I think ended. What did I forget?
You forgot the awesome bit in the middle.
Oh, that's the good part. Go see the movie. Win-win. I did. I'm sorry. It was about to get super good, that song, and then went back to the medium good part.
We're trying to be clever, and we're not playing any of our hit songs, and then we're screwing up.
You're cussing a storm in a cocktail dress. Your mother wore when she was young. Red southern saint around your neck. A wet martini in a paper cup. You're a waltz mess. You're a waltz mess. Your eyes are broken bottles, and I'm afraid to ask. And all your right back cutting beauty, your poison in a pretty glass. You're a waltz mess. You're a waltz mess. You're all humming live wires under your killing clothes. Get over here, I wanna kiss your skinny throat. You're a waltz mess. You're a waltz mess. Thank you. When we started the band, I think we always we talked about never wanting to ever make the band political, but we ended up writing songs that were like I mentioned earlier, get close to that. And this one is this was written right after 9/11, and it was the first song we wrote after that, and so this is probably maybe one that gets as political as we do. So in a cool abstract way that you could never tell. It's called Thirsty. I can tell, I'm nothing like the princess. Today I find myself curling up behind the house. There's nothing in the air today. Now I know I'm not so important. Take these girly arms and ever keep me. Take these girly arms and ever keep me. I don't have a hawk in my heart, no dumbass dove in my brain. Oh, I don't have a hawk in my heart, no dumbass dove in my dumbass brain. Take these girly arms and ever keep me. Take these girly arms and ever keep me. Hawk in my heart. Oh, I don't have a hawk in my heart. Oh, I don't have a hawk in my, I don't have a hawk in, I don't have a hawk in my heart. No, I don't have a hawk in my heart. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, friend.
He needed to hear that after he screwed up that one song, so thanks for that.
Here's the guy that wrote the review. He just come. We hired him to come and sit in the front row and just go, "You guys are awesome," after every song. That I'm under from the feeling that I lost today. Summer sun around for the feeling that I lost today. Summer sun around through the weather that I'm under for the feeling that I lost today. Summer sun around for the feeling that I lost today. You must be somewhere in London. You must be loving your life in must be somewhere in London, walking Abbey Lane. I don't even think to make, I don't even think to make, I don't even think to make corrections. Famous angels never come through England. England gets the ones you never need. I'm in a Los Angeles cathedral, minus in their heads sing for me. Put an ocean and a river between everybody else, between everything yourself and home. Put an ocean and a river between everything yourself and home. You must be somewhere in London. You must be loving your life in the rain. You must be somewhere in London, walking Abbey Lane. I don't even think to make, I don't even think to make, I don't even think to make corrections. Famous angels never come through England. England gets the ones you never need. I'm in a Los Angeles cathedral, minus in their heads sing for me. Heights, stay tonight with the sinners. Pray to the heights, stay tonight with the sinners. Pray to the heights, 'cause the desperate to entertain. Pray to the heights, stay tonight with the sinners. Pray to the heights, stay tonight with the sinners. Pray to the heights, 'cause the desperate to entertain. Pray to the heights, stay tonight with the sinners. Pray to the heights, stay tonight with the sinners. Pray to the heights, 'cause the desperate to entertain. Pray to the heights, stay tonight with the sinners. Pray to the heights, stay tonight with the sinners. Pray to the heights, 'cause the desperate to entertain. Thank you.
Okay, now we're gonna play loud in case you need earplugs.
lift my shirt up, standing straight at the foot of your love line. Lift my shirt up. I was carried to Ohio in a swarm of bees. I never married, but Ohio don't remember me. Lay my head on the foot of your car ride. Take it too far. Lay my head on the foot of your car ride. Take it too far. I still owe money, see the money, see the money I owe. I never thought about love. When I thought about home, I still owe money, see the money, see the money I owe. The flows are falling out from everybody I know. I'm on the blood. Yes, I am. I'm on the blood. I'm on the blood. God, I am. I'm on the blood. I was carried to Ohio in a swarm of bees. I never married, but Ohio don't remember me. I still owe money, see the money, see the money I owe. I never thought about love. When I thought about home, I still owe money, see the money, see the money I owe. The flows are falling out from everybody I know. I'm on the blood. Yes, I am. I'm on the blood. I'm on the blood. God, I am. I'm on the blood. We want to thank the New Yorker and especially Atul Gawande who got us to do this. So they asked him what he wanted to do because apparently the magazine lets him just do whatever he wants, and he's the only one there that can just do whatever he wants. So thank you for inviting us to do this.
And we want to thank the Acme String Ensemble who played with us tonight. So thank you, Caleb, Yuki, Clarice, Nadia. Thanks for coming.
Can we do two more songs? Do we have time for two more? You guys aren't in charge. You guys are not the authority.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. I just don't want Zach Galifianakis to kick my ass.
He would definitely kick
for
your
cutting in
ass.
on his time. Stay out super late tonight, picking apples, making pie. Put a little something in our lemonade and take it with us. We're half awake in a fake empire. We're half awake in a fake empire. Tiptoe through our shiny city with our diamond slippers on. Do our gay ballet dance, bluebirds on our shoulders. We're half awake in a fake empire. We're half awake in a fake empire. Thank you. It's Kyle Resnick playing trumpet, and Dave Nelson is playing trombone.
This next song I want to dedicate to my 2-week-old daughter Ingrid, who's here, and warn her mother that this song gets really loud, so she should probably go very far away.
It's also our last song, so thanks so much for coming.
Walking with spiders. It's a terrible love when I'm
I'm walking in. It's a terrible love and I'm walking with spiders. It's a terrible love and I'm walking in. It's quiet company. It's quiet company. It's a terrible love and I'm walking with spiders. It's a terrible love and I'm walking in. It's a terrible love and I'm walking with spiders. It's a terrible love and I'm walking in. It's quiet company. It's quiet company. It's quiet company. And I can fall asleep without a leg. It takes a while to settle down. I shiver both until the pain nicks out. It takes an ocean not to break. 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 It's quiet company. It's quiet company. Won't follow you into the rain. Behold, I said I would, but then I saw your shimmer bones. They didn't want me to. Terrible love and I'm walking with spiders. It's terrible love and I'm walking in. It's terrible love and I'm walking with spiders. It's terrible love and I'm walking in. It takes an ocean not to break. It takes an ocean not to break. It takes an ocean not to break.
Thank you so much.